So just when we thought that the saga was going to settle, right, that it was only going to come down to just Hansi Flick, Naggelsmann, Tuchel, and De Zerbi, now we do have a brand new coach into the picture. And it is a coach that we have seen at Barcelona before. That is Luis Enrique. Gerard Romero went on live earlier and this is what he said. Barcelona have 3 avenues open. There is Flick and there's also De Zerbi, who would I still count on. And then the club will be waiting on the situation in Paris, who is Luis Enrique. At the club, there's people who want to hold off the managerial appointment to see if any significant managerial changes occur. They want Luis Enrique to be among their options. And this, my friends, is very, very interesting because out of all coaches, right, Hansi Flick, De Zerbi, Naggelsmann, Tuchel, Luis Enrique, the coach that I really do have a lot of confidence on is Luis Enrique. And for a very big reason, which is going to be something that we are going to be talking about in this video. Now, Gerard Romero also continued to state that Hansi Flick is still the main one as of now. They're not going to be making any definitive decision within these next few weeks or few months. They're going to wait. They're going to wait to see what happens between PSG and Luis Enrique. But the same story continues to arise regarding Hansi Flick. This is what he said. Flick is very obsessed with the idea of coaching Barcelona. Flick was the one who asked Pinizavi to travel to Barcelona to put pressure on the club. Sources say that Flick is very well positioned to become the new Barcelona coach, but his signing is not as closed as it seems. So let's focus on Luis Enrique. This is actually not the first time that we have heard that Luis Enrique is being liked by FC Barcelona. Back on January, Diario Sport claimed this, that there are people and players in the dressing room that would prefer to have the PSG manager, which is Luis Enrique. He is a coach that is highly favored by the current Barcelona players today. Luis Enrique is said to be viewed as the ideal figure to coach the club from next season, with many of the squad have already worked with him before. Marc-Andre ter Stegen and Sergio Roberto were part of Luis Enrique's squad back in the 2014-2015 season, and they even won the treble with him. Meanwhile, Barcelona's Spain contingent of Pedri, Gavi, Alejandro Balde, Ferran Torres have all worked with Luis Enrique at international level. And so at that time when this report did surface, we were just like, okay, the only reason why this story is being created is because Xavi Hernandez is having a bad moment at Barcelona, because around this time when Diario Sport came out with this report, Xavi Hernandez was having a horrible time with Barcelona. We were losing games left and right. We were losing to basically any team and at our own home. So we thought that this was fake. But now seeing that Gerard Romero is also reporting on this, and also Xavi Hernandez saying that he is going to be leaving, this story of Luis Enrique getting to a return to Barcelona is getting strengthened. And I know that there is going to be backlash on this idea because as of now, this is only an idea. This is not something that Barcelona are like super aggressive on. Like, it's not like Barcelona have already talked to Luis Enrique and they said that they see him as an option. This is just an idea, but many people do not like this idea. Many have been saying that the only reason why Luis Enrique has been successful at Barcelona was because of the MSN. I would beg to differ. You're speaking about the exact same coach where 2 days ago, he said that eventually PSG is going to have to learn to play without Kylian Mbappe, because this whole squad that PSG have is based around the success that Kylian Mbappe does have. Like, if Mbappe does well, PSG also does well. Luis Enrique just said we have to learn to play without Kylian Mbappe eventually, because Luis Enrique is somebody who wants to have a good team, not a team that just relies on one player. And that is what Barcelona of 2014-2015 was all about also. Yes, the MSN was special, but so was Iniesta, so was Rakitic, so was Sergio Busquets, so was Jordi Alba, Dani Alves, Piqué, Mascherano. That team really was special. And point number 2, when Luis Enrique first came to Barcelona, during that presentation, he was saying we're going to rebuild a new Barcelona, a Barcelona that is much more competitive, a brave Barcelona, because he knows he has the ability to create a great culture and a great, strong team, which is why I would be a fanatic on seeing Luis Enrique return to Barcelona, because he would make Barcelona into a monstrous team. Every player would perform. So if you guys are not familiar with Luis Enrique's game, let me make this very simple for everybody here. He's a very hands-on manager. He is somebody that likes to have great relationships with the players. Like, he wants to be seen as like some sort of father figure, because that is what's going to allow for the players to go onto the pitch and fight for him and to play in the best way possible, because they believe that Luis Enrique is somebody that they should stand for. And when you have a group of players that stand by what you say, you're going to have players that buy into the philosophies, the ideas that Luis Enrique does bring out. And this is why he wants a strong, close relationship with all of his players. And we're going to be seeing that at Barcelona if he does get appointed. Luis Enrique also likes to use a 4-3-3. He has never gone outside of that. He also likes to have players in every position where they're very comfortable every time they have the ball. He wants to feel like those players know what they're doing because his entire game is about keeping the ball. Very similar to Xavi Hernandez and Pep Guardiola. Now here's the key thing, and this is what we have been seeing over the past 7 to 8 years with Barcelona, with Spain, and also with PSG. But more specifically with Barcelona and Spain, because back at Barcelona, he always kept the first two lines together, right? The defensive line and the midfield line. And he welcomed for the offensive line, Messi, Suarez, Neymar, to go high up the pitch. So it was very disconnected between the midfield line and the attacking line. But the defensive line and the midfield line were very much close together. He also did the exact same thing with Spain. He kept all three lines, the offensive line, the midfield line, and at Spain, he did something very similar. He kept all three lines instead of the two lines compact and all together, the attacking line, the midfield line, and the defensive line with a high back line. So in Spain, for example, he had Sergio Busquets, Pedri, Gavi as the midfield line. The front three was like Morata and like some other players, I can't remember, Ferran Torres and maybe Ansu Fati. So he keeps these compact lines for a very big reason. That is because anytime the attacking line loses the ball, he wants to have his teams set up in a great defensive transition, meaning every time, let's say for example, back in 2014-2015 season, either Messi, Suarez, or Neymar lose the ball, he already has the midfield line and the defensive line very compact, ready for that defensive transition and ready to take the ball away as fast as possible. Same thing with Spain. The reason why he had all three lines compact is because he did not have Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, meaning that he felt like the attacking line was going to eventually lose the ball, so he kept all three lines very compact with a high back line. Because again, the main goal for him is to protect their own half. He was only concerned about protecting the team against huge transitions. And I remember Luis Enrique also said that at Barcelona, we follow the 6-second rule, counterpress. And if you fail to get the ball away from the opposition after 6 seconds, they go into a low mid block. So I'm like, okay, I can see the picture. I can see the idea. I can see why Barcelona, Deco, Joan Laporta would be interested in Luis Enrique, because that defensive transition element is a problem at Barcelona today. Every time we have to transition into defense, when we lose the ball, whether it's coming from Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Vitor Roque, Joao Felix, Ferran Torres, whoever, Pedri, Gundogan, every time we lose the ball, Barcelona suffers so much. We can't defend ourselves like never, and we always get pounded on the counterattack. This is something that Luis Enrique could bring to Barcelona, and that could be a great solution, which could fix Barcelona's defensive problems. Because Barcelona, the reason why we have suffered so much this season is because we cannot transition into defense. We suffer. There are so many spaces being left behind us, and that is how the opposition scores goals against us. That is why we have been conceding so many goals. And so if this ends up being true, if we end up appointing Luis Enrique, even though today, right, so like if you ask me, who do you see coaching Barcelona, I'm going to tell you Hansi Flick. But if this story continues to grow and we start seeing more evidence, the one thing that I do want to say is this: if he does come back, us as fans and the media have to do the best job ever to protect Luis Enrique, because one of the reasons why he left Barcelona back in 2017, after only 3 years, by the way, was because of the amount of pressure he was facing at Barcelona. Like if you look at the first picture that he took at Barcelona, and then you look at the last picture that he took at Barcelona, those are two different people, dude. Like that guy went through so much stress. He even said, the way I have to live this profession with a relentless search for solutions and to improve the team, this means very little time to relax and disconnect. This meant that while he was looking for the solutions, he felt the constant pressure. He felt no time to relax because of how much the media were pounding on Luis Enrique. I remember the media was saying, how is he going to improve on top of the MSN? How is he going to improve on top of the first season? Why is he not winning the treble for the second time in a row? Why is he not winning the Champions League? Why is he doing so bad against Roma? But he needs to be sacked. What's going on? He needs to find solutions. And Luis Enrique felt that, and that's why he left. And then came Ernesto Valverde. And then from there started the downfall, which is like a whole other different conversation. But we'll see, because I have no idea whether Luis Enrique would like to come to Barcelona or not, because if you look at his record at PSG, it's really not that bad. I don't know why he would leave PSG unless PSG just say, you know what, we're losing Kylian Mbappe, we're losing a lot of other players, let's just restart this whole project, new manager, new players, whatever, and they let go of Luis Enrique, right? Because they had like some other coach before Luis Enrique for like one season. They can do the exact same thing again. But at the moment, their record does not look bad. They have only lost 3 times this season so far, and this is Luis Enrique's first season. They have 2 losses in the Champions League, 1 loss in the league, and they're first place in the league by 11 points. And he has also unlocked one of the best versions of Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is only 11 goals away from beating his best goal scoring season. Right now, he has 32 goals. In the 2020-2021 season, he had 42. So he's 11 goals away, and we have 4 or 5 months left in this season, and I can definitely see Kylian Mbappe scoring more than 11 goals within these next 4 to 5 months. So Enrique knows how to get the best from his best players. He knows how to make a great collective squad, and I would love to see this type of pride, this type of aggressiveness, this type of unity back at Barcelona with Luis Enrique at the helm and bringing that elite mentality. Like, I remember when he said, oh yeah, PSG scored 4. What makes you think that we can't score 6? And look what happened in that comeback, the 6-1 comeback at the Camp Nou. It was amazing. So I would welcome this potential new signing by Barcelona. I just don't know if he's really that high up in the ladder. I still think that Hansi Flick has the higher chance and the higher probability of coaching Barcelona. But that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.